Hi everybody, we are going to do a quick guided tour here of Mythical Mayhem, a fantasy deck building game created by Dragon Slayer Studios. At the time of this video, it is an early release version, so just be aware that additional functionality or cards may have been added. We'll see what it looks like when it goes live, but we are in early access. So as we go into Mythical Mayhem, you can see we've got a quick menu here on the side. I can quit, I can change some basic music effects, settings, set my difficulty. I can view the credits. Campaign's obviously not implemented unless it's a future. I can do a tutorial. So the tutorial's good because if we follow through the tutorial, it's going to unlock another hero deck that we can play with. But I'm going to go into the custom and scenario here. Now, I would highly recommend the first thing you do playing this game is go through the basics. I am not going to spend a lot of time explaining anything that the basics tutorial covers. But since I'm on a brand new account here, it's still available to me. So in the quick play, we do have scenarios. So these scenarios are good because if you play the scenario, everything's kind of preset for you. Obviously, the decks are random, the rolls are random. The heroes you're going to have, the villains you're going to be fighting, they're all preset for you. And completing any of these scenarios will unlock another hero deck that you can use. Then if we go into custom, here we can kind of just make up a game however we want. I can click random, it'll just fill in all these slots with random selections from everything. But I'll quickly go through here just so you can kind of understand what all these selections are. So the first thing is the quest. Okay, so here this is going to define our hero win condition. We'll pick long haul in this case. Arch-villain is kind of the big bad evil guy that you're looking to defeat. Each one of them has different powers, different strengths, different weaknesses. The Dark Saga, this defines any special rules for the game and generally a villain win condition. Let's pick Age of Darkness here. Notice that increased my difficulty, so these little skulls here are giving you an idea of what the game difficulty is going to be. The minion is kind of the main enemy that's helping this arch-villain in their quest. They tend to be a little bit stronger than foes. For the foes, this is your more generic enemies that a hero will encounter. Sometimes they can have synergies with minions and the arch-villain, often they don't. So let's just pick half foes and wild ones for this one. The hero decks, now these are the decks, like I say, you only start with the 4, so if you do the tutorial, you'll unlock a 5th one, which is the retired hero, and then completing the scenarios is going to unlock subsequent heroes. Now your starter hero decks, even the retired hero, are okay. They're solid decks, but in general, the unlocked decks through the scenarios have a little bit more power, a little bit more interesting uses behind them. Certainly some very good synergies can develop. So if we take a quick look, you're just going to see, here's the Apprentice Mage. You can see that all the cards in this deck are going to generate certain types of essences, gives you a little story. And along the bottom, you'll see where it says attack 58, resource generation 90, support 70, and a cost of high. That's basically comparing it to other decks. So it's slightly better at attacking than most decks, generates more resources than most decks. It has more support cards than most decks, but their cards are expensive. Versus, say, a peasant hero where the attack is, a little bit stronger, but, the resource generation is okay, the support is okay, the cost fairly average. Now, we'll go ahead and pick all 4 of these. And then finally, you're going to have, and you notice we could have a 5th, we don't have a 5th one unlocked. The Benefactor is just a simple one-shot card. So this is a card you're going to only get to play once. I'm going to go Reckless Casting. So you can see here I've got 2 skulls. If I drop the game difficulty to easy, it drops to 1. I can go all the way up to brutal. It's going to give me basically an extra skull for each difficulty. So in easy, every round, game just simply draws 1 card for the villains. So 1 enemy comes out every round. On normal, your first round again, the enemy comes out. Then basically every 3rd round after that, an extra card's going to be drawn. So on round 4, on round 7, on round 11, the enemies are going to draw 2 cards instead of 1. On hard, that kind of turns into every other round after the first. So round 1, it's draw an extra one, then round 3, then round 5, then round 7. And on brutal, basically starting on the 3rd round, it's drawing an extra card. So you get 1 card on round 1, 1 on round 2, then 2 cards on round 3, 4, 5, 6, and that just doesn't stop. So we'll go normal. 2 skulls should be fairly easy. You can see I can clear it, I can choose random, but we'll just choose start. So it just tells me it's turn 1, and it's drawn initial cards. So we get lucky. The hero draws one of his ambition cards. So you can see that the ambition is a tactic he's using. Temptation means he's going to gain a dark reward. So I'm going to get one of these dark rewards, which I'll explain in a second. And he gets to draw another card. So you can see that that dark reward went down into my discard, and I drew an extra card. So let's orient ourselves to the boards really quick. Bottom is the player's area. As you saw, I can click on here and see what my discards are. I'll be able to do the same thing with the destroyed. This is my hero deck. You can see I have 5 cards remaining in it. I have the 6 cards that have now been drawn. As I play these cards, I'm going to earn resources or attack. Those are going to appear here. So let me just quickly do that. I played these 4 cards. You can see all the cards you've played up in the top. I have 4 resources to spend this turn, and I'll generate the 2 attack. And you can see here, you can always see what you've got. The vault, as I defeat enemies, the enemies are carrying gold. Their vault is going to go into the horde if they escape, or it's going to go into my vault if they don't. So if I just end the turn and don't spend these 4 resources, they just go away. But resources added to the vault persists until I spend it. Essences is going to show me how and what essences I've earned this turn. You can see none of the cards I played gave me an essence, and that's fine. As I defeat enemies, I'm going to earn experience. How many experience points I currently have is going to be here. If I were to go up here and use a side quest, that side quest will appear down here, and I can see what it is. And I'll explain that in a second. And then, of course, I chose Long Haul as my conquest, so I can either defeat the hero a number of times shown on their card, or I can last until turn 40 to win. You can see here the hero would need to, or the villain, sorry, would need to be defeated 5 times. I need to beat her 5 times to win or last till turn 40. She is worth 8 experience if I kill her. Each time I defeat her, or at least this version of her. Some enemies, as you defeat them, they get stronger. Others don't. It really depends on the foe. And you can see here she will generate 4 defense runes that she'll pull. She has 4 life. I couldn't beat her now if I wanted to. I'm only doing 2 damage, and I need to do 4. That's basically the hero. On the villain side, as you can see, I was looking at her. You can see, this is just what she brings to the table. She has her ambitions. I chose the Age of Darkness as a saga, so you can see here that whenever a chapter is drawn, I'm going to lose one of my heroic balance for each foe in play, so the foes will be down here. And then for each chapter in the Dark Saga, which currently is 0. The arch villain will win if I get 5 dark deeds. So as the balance moves around, it's going to go up or down. Anytime I get to the top, it's going to add 1 to the dark deeds. Anytime it gets to the bottom, it adds 1, anytime I get to the top, it adds 1 to the heroics. Anytime I get to the bottom, it adds 1 to the dark deeds. As I gain heroic deeds, if I have dark deeds, it's just going to remove 1 of them and reset the center. I still won't have a heroic deed, I'll just have 1 less dark deed, and vice versa. As the dark deeds increase, they first remove heroic deeds before they start adding up dark deeds. As you move up and down the scale, you're going to hit these reward tiers, right? So basically here and here, here and here. You're going to get heroic rewards as you move up here. Those are cards that are always good for you. You're going to get dark rewards down here, which are cards that are a little bit good for you and a little bit bad for you, or sometimes all bad for you. The reward, once it's earned, it'll go away. So this icon would disappear, and it won't come back until you've either earned a heroic deed to reset the top or a dark deed to reset the bottom. So let's quickly look at this main playing area, and then we'll move on. So I'll start at the bottom, or no, start at the top actually. So I always have actions here that I can do. I can buy a round. So I get a random drink effect card. The hero from the tavern directly below this is put into the bottom of the hero deck. So if I were to buy a round, this card goes to the bottom of the hero deck. I'm not going to be able to drive them again, and I'm going to get a drink effect. For 3 resources, I can basically add a local to my card, and I think it's a barmaid if I recall. And they generate more resources. Getting a side quest gives me a side quest at the bottom I can use. Completing a quest gives me rewards. Failing to complete the quest usually has a penalty. If I do a side job, it's the only thing I can do all turn. And when I do it, I'm going to gain 1 experience. I'll gain 1 to the vault, and then this guy goes to the bottom of the deck. If I choose to recover, I destroy all broken and standard wounds from my hand. By broken, I mean broken equipment that I might buy from the market, and any wounds that are in my hand. They will be going into the destroyed pile, so I won't have them anymore. But again, this hero moves to the bottom of the deck, and ending the turn ends the turn. This is the tavern. These are the heroes that are currently in the tavern that I can hire. For resources, I can basically hire anybody but these last two. Here are the other shops in the town. So you can see here, if I mouse over assassins, you notice this icon. So what it's telling me is when I play the assassins, it's going to destroy the card above it. That card is going to go into the destroyed. I'm not going to be able to play that card again. It is going to generate 1 attack value, which is good, but I'm going to move down this track 2 points. I'm going to lose 2 heroic essences, and again, he gets 5 dark deeds. If he wraps this 5 times, I lose. So that could be a little risky, especially since I kind of like this card. I'm not sure I want to use that right away. I'd have to be fairly desperate at the moment. But it can be useful sometimes if the card above it's not one that you want. You just want to clear it out and hopefully get a card you might want to buy. Hiring mercenaries costs you 3. You gain a mercenary card into your hand immediately. The rapid deploy. You can either play them the same turn and boost your attack power, or discard them and then shuffle them into your deck. But once you do play them, they are all one shot. Training's important, so this is how you upgrade your cards. As you defeat foes, you're going to gain experience. You can spend 4 resources to train, and it will exchange 1 card for another based on the experience you have. So let's say I had 4 experience points. I could spend 4 resources and turn one of my labors into anybody who costs 4 or less. So I could turn them into the Song of Speed or the Sign of the Book. I couldn't do it for my friend Payne or the Unlikely Assistants. In order for me to get those cards, I would need 6 or 5 experience respectively. Once you've done that, that experience is spent. So if I had 5 experience, I buy this Song of Speed, it's going to leave me with 1. But training is an essential card in here because it's going to let you get some of these lower value cards replaced by cards that generate more resources when they're done. Charity adds 1 to the balance scale. Heroic deeds, certain cards are more powerful the more heroic deeds you have, and conversely there could be ones that are more powerful the more dark deeds that are in play. Going to the market is going to give you an equipment card for 2 resources. Equipment cards usually have a limited number of uses, and then when they've used them the last time, they break, and the only way to get rid of them from your hand then is to do the recover action. Finally, gambling. Take 3 of your resources, you're going to draw 3 runes, you're going to roll them. Each rune has a 1 in 7 chance of generating money for you. Finally, we have down here, this is how the foes are going to progress through. They're going to go through the caves, the dungeon, the wilds, the crypts, the dark alley, the castle. And if you don't stop them by then, they will escape to the lair. What's important to note is whenever an enemy escapes, they are going to damage your town and discard cards at the top. As the town becomes damaged, the costs on these things become more and more expensive. Repairing damage, though, actually can give you positive resources. So there may be times where you may want to think about letting an enemy get away if you don't think it's going to hurt you too bad, just so you can gain on your heroics. It kind of depends on what's going on and how the game's playing out. So I'll play a couple of rounds here, just show you how it goes. Maybe we'll show you what happens when one escapes. So got 4 resources, nothing to fight. No enemies came out here because we drew an ambition, so I'll just draw the Song of Speed. I personally enjoy drawing extra cards, and I'm going to end my turn. So turn 2, I'm going to draw my hand. You can see my 1-shot card came out, and then the big bad wolf came out. So not a great first enemy. He's strong, takes 6 damage. He only rolls 2 defense, which is nice, but he takes 6 damage, and he's going to come out with a dash. He's going to move through here faster. Fighting him, unless I have the leaf, that's going to gain me wounds, and if he gets out, he's going to destroy a card from my hand. So not discard, destroy. So I'm probably going to want to try and deal with him. So let me look at what I get here. So 3 resources, 1 fighting. I could play this card and get 3 more cards, but they're all going to be cards like this, right? I mean, I might get my Song of Speed, but again, I'm just going to draw more cards like this. I don't think I have enough in my hand to be able to defeat this wolf. I'd love to be able to hire the mercenaries, but you can see this store is closed now. And it's closed because he's in the dungeon. Essentially, he's menacing the mercenaries. They're tied up. I cannot get in there and hire them. So for $3, could buy the Soothing Song. So you can see here it's going to destroy wounds that are in my hand. I don't know that I need that right now. But for $3, I think I will pay it forward. Now, here's one of those cards where it's really good, right? So I pay it forward. You can see it can help someone in need. +1 common folk if you're in your rescue pile, and you get 1 good deed, right? So it's going to go up. But then if I have good deeds, I'm going to draw a card, and I draw an additional card for every heroic I have in place. This is one of those cards where having higher heroics is better. I tend to like that card. I'm going to grab it. Not going to spend that. Just going to end my turn. Turn 3 shows up. So we've drawn the Potato Brigade. They're stronger against foes that try and use the essence of power against them. They roll quite a bit of defense, but they're not particularly strong. So let's take a look and see what I've got here. I've got 3 laborers. So if I look here, the pay it forward, you can see if I have one of these symbols in play, I get to pay it forward. If I have 2, I have good deeds. I actually have 3, so I'm definitely going to play this card. So that will have done the pay it forward. So I added a common folk rescued, and I got to I drew the good deed. So now we're going to look at this super quick and say, well, okay, if I play this card, it's going to get rid of the 2 here, the road less taken above there. I'm going to get 4 temple or 4 vault back, but I'm going to lose 2 on the balance. So if I were to spend the charity, I get 2. Let's get this out of my hand now and earn. So you can see I only have 1 resource left, and it shows the vault. I have 4 additional, so I have a total of 5 I could use. I think I'll grab the side quest for 1. You can see here, if there are no common folk are departed, they don't get away. If the bad guy doesn't kill them before the end of turn 7, I'm going to gain 3 if he manages to escape with 1. And by departed just means they're attached to one of these. They get attached to one of these foe cards and they escape. I'll lose 1. So that's actually a really good quest for me. Turn 4. Draw my cards. So your first, another one of the Potato Brigade comes out, and we're drawing an extra one because we're on normal difficulty. Remember, it draws an extra card starting at turn 4, 7, 11. Every third one after this, we're going to get that. So I do the Song of Speed. Now, I could draw an extra card here if I can get a magic in play, but none of these guys generate magic essence. But the Song of Speed's going to generate one, but it needs to be in play before I play it. So I'll play this card. It's just going to give me 1 more card. More importantly, give me 1 combat as well, though. So I've got 4 normal resources, 4 in the vault. I can buy a fairly good card if I've got one available. I'm getting kind of desperate for a combat card, though. We have a good one, so let's grab this guy. And my turn. I have a feeling this big bad wolf's going to get away on me. Again, another foe gets out. I'm getting in trouble here quick. I'll draw a card. I'll play at least 2 of these to be able to pay it forward. So let's take a look at this and say, okay, well, you know what? Like, maybe he's going to get away, but maybe I can stop one of these guys coming in here. So maybe I'll just start here at the back. Drew the 4 runes for him. One of them was unknown. 2 of them would give me money, and one of them is the lesser who needs 2 of those to make himself stronger, so he was defeated. Only cost me 2 of my attack power. I got my 3 experience and my vault. So now I've got $4 here. You know what, let's buy this card after all. End my turn. So by defeating that foe, you think, okay, the guy's going to come in, nobody moves. No, they always keep moving down the track. So on his adventure card, you can see here, add 1 reward for to the nearest foe in play. Okay, yay. So on this turn, if I don't defeat the big bad wolf, he will escape. So let's see if we can't generate enough to try that. So I'll draw my 3 extra cards here. Was really hoping to get the... I was really hoping to get it, but I'm not going to. Well, I'm not going to get any 0 cost cards. So I probably should have played that before I played this one, to be honest. And defeating that person gave me a reward, which is just going to add to my vault. I don't get the Song of Speed. I only get 4 attacks. So let's see what happens here. I can buy the mercenaries. Hiring the mercenaries, you can see they're 1-shot, rapid deploy. They add 2. I can only buy them once, though. So it gives me 6. I could chance it against the big bad wolf now. I would love to keep Power Potency. It's a very good card for me, I think. So I'm going to risk it and see if we can beat the big bad wolf here. Excellent. So he didn't roll any defensive runes. I had 6 attack. He took it all. He was defeated. He did not get away on me. You can see now I have 7 experience. Things are looking quite a bit better for me. We'll grab another card here. Let's continue on. So his card this turn, he kidnapped a common folk, so that, and the extra card is the big bad wolf. You can see I lost some heroics just for getting that common folk, and then the big bad wolf showed up. So again, I'll draw an extra card for that. I'll play those guys. I'll play this one. See, there's the 1 wound I suffered from fighting the wolf. It ends up in my hand. As I've got the wolf, I'm really going to crank that up. So in this case, just for sake of showing you how this works, I'm going to go and fight this guy. So again, you can see he rolled 1 rune of defense. So it's going to cost me 1 more attack than it should have to defeat the big bad evil, but I've beaten her once. Whew. What do I end up with? I end up with curses because that was her power. If you saw in that combat card, it said curse and the hex. So those are not going to be great cards for me to pull up. Just going to buy some extra cards here, and let's show you what happens when somebody escapes. So you can see right now this person's going to escape. I could have beat them this turn probably, but I won't. So they're going to escape. So what should happen is 1 horde is going to go there. They're going to go into the lair. They don't have a pillage phase, so that won't happen, but you'll see what happens to my town when they get away. So go and end the turn. I succeeded in my quest, which was good. I earned myself a reward. So you saw the reward go away, and I got a card. I'm going to draw my deck, and he goes away. So what happens is this guy, when he escapes, he's going to destroy 1 random card. It's going to damage the store underneath it. And if there's a foe under that store, he's also going to damage it. So you see this store took 2 damage just from that 1 guy escaping, and I lost that card. That card was destroyed. Right, so there it is. Soothing Minstrel. It's gone. So you can see, now I've got this unfortunate hex in my hand. I've got all kinds of things. And basically this is how the game goes. You're going to be wanting to buy cards from the top. You want to use your training to upgrade. Like I've got 16 experience now. It's amazing. If I could have had this open, I'd definitely be upgrading one of my laborers into anything else. You know what? Oh. Well. Guess we'll play those out. And let's just quickly end this turn. This should free up the training, and I'd like to show you what that looks like, just so you're aware. Oh, and he's, again, destroys the card, damages the store. Because the store was damaged this turn, that's 6-0, and there's the adventure card. Things are going to go, this is quickly going to drop on me here. 3 bad guys in play, plus a chapter. Yeah, bad times, but that's fine. So you can see here on my turn, if I can generate $4, 4 resources, which I've got. Perfect. So when I click on training here, what it's going to do is it's going to say select your hero to train. So let's say I don't need these little laborers anymore. I want to get rid of one of them. Now it's going to allow me to pick any one of the cards that were up top, and I really like power potency. So you can see this one normally would cost me 6 resources, but for 4 resources I just gained that card and lost a card I'm not going to use. So training is important, but you'll notice because I used it, it's now closed. And again, the cost is going up on these because they've been damaged, but for 2 resources I can repair that and gain some of that back. So essentially this is how the game continues to play out. I mean, at the end of the day, he's either going to get 5 dark deeds and win the game, or I'm going to beat this bad guy 4 more times or last to turn 40. Again, the more cards you unlock, the more exciting the game becomes, I think. The more decks you have to play with, the more interesting some of the combinations and the synergies can be. So I hope that helps you understand how the game plays through and gives you an idea of what the gameplay looks like.